Nebula's End is a puzzle escape room style game that takes place in a dark Gothic town. The game contains prevalent cosmic core elements, such as monsters, magical abilities, and mist that covers the entirety of the town. This level blockout showcases the game's different puzzle types, environments, and monsters that the player has to face. Here, the red borders represent the mist, while the gray boxes are the buildings. Each building has a uniquely themed environment with relevant puzzles to immerse the player into the game's world. For example, this building is styled after a library, and it thus contains puzzles that are linguistic or literary in nature, requiring the player to make connections between text and symbols to progress. The player also has a set of magical abilities they can use to solve puzzles. In this case, the player can use their ability to astral project and go through this wall to find crucial clues for the next puzzle. The game features several branching puzzles that provide the player with different ways to reach the same endpoints and facilitate replayability. If the player wanted to enter this building, they would normally need a key found in another puzzle to access the main entrance. However, they can instead enter the building from a secret back entrance by having to solve a few puzzles in the outside area. When going from one building to another, the player will have to navigate through the mist in the streets while evading the monsters within it. The purpose of these segments is to both add tension and to maintain it while the player is moving from one building to another, leaving no place for the player to feel safe. The player will have to check for sound cues, which represent different entities, such as a monster that moves straight down the street and needs to be avoided behind and between objects and buildings. The game also features horror-focused puzzles that require clever platforming and use of objects within the rooms. For example, in this room, the player needs to move from position to position to grab objects while avoiding the detection of the monster in the middle of the room. In order to progress, the player will eventually have to drop this chandelier to defeat the monster and move to the next room.